As far as the Catholic Church is concerned, homosexual acts are without exception sinful, violations of the law, divine and natural. But according to the faith, having homosexual desires is not in and of itself sinful, as long as people with a homosexual orientation don't give in to the temptation, they can avoid the sin. But everyone is subject to original sin, of course. We are all tainted, deprived of original holiness and justice. We are fallen creatures, inherited fallen nature. Terrible doctrine. Impossible to account for all the harm it's done and continues to do. I was reading a tract on Catholic.com the other day. Catholic answers to explain and defend the faith. Anytime you get Catholics talking about homosexuality, there seems to be a high degree of likelihood that Genesis 19 and the city of Sodom will be brought up to defend the so-called divine law. But faith in the Bible proves only faith in the Bible. It doesn't demonstrate the supposed immorality of homosexual behaviour. And what the Apostle Paul had to say will oftentimes be brought up. There's also a blog on Catholic.com where the title is, "Was St. Paul a misogynist and a bigot?" where he's defended, of course. But you don't need to listen to or read Catholic apologists. You can read what St. Paul said himself. He clearly was a misogynist and a bigot and a fanatic. Not a nice chap, from what I can tell. But that's just my opinion, to be taken with a pinch of salt. Back to the tract on homosexuality. Allow me to read a little from the natural law section of the document. People have a basic intuition that certain behaviours are wrong because they are unnatural. We perceive intuitively that the natural sex partner of a human is another human, not an animal. Same reasoning applies to the case of homosexual behaviour. The natural sex partner for a man is a woman, and the natural sex partner for a woman is a man. Thus, people have the corresponding intuition concerning homosexuality that they do about bestiality, that it is wrong because it is unnatural. End quote. I kind of get tired of saying it, but it's worth repeating. There is no such thing as unnatural. Nature is all that there is. Of course, if you believe in the supernatural, then you're not going to accept this truth. But anyway, people don't have this intuition about same-sex attraction being morally wrong. You have to condition people to view homosexuality as wrong or morally disgusting. And trying to conflate homosexuality with bestiality is just ridiculous. But you'll hear homosexuality being lumped in with paedophilia or even necrophilia too, depending on who you talk to. Some of the stupid shit people say. It's amusing to me, but it shouldn't be. But I find it kind of funny how some, not all, Catholics will try to distance themselves from the charge of homophobia by claiming to be on the rational side of the discussion or argument. Just because I disagree with the homosexual lifestyle doesn't mean I'm scared of the gays. I ain't afraid of no faggots. The person who wrote this tract on Catholic.com actually said, quote, "The vast majority of those who oppose homosexual behaviour are in no way afraid of homosexuals. A disagreement is not the same as a fear," end quote. So, yeah, the person who's written this, you've gone around the world, have you, and done a poll of all those who oppose homosexuality or those who practice it, and you found that most people, the vast majority in fact, simply disagree on religious grounds, I assume. That's why in many countries around the world today, gays, lesbians, trans people are persecuted, ostracised, sometimes murdered. It's just a rational disagreement. And as it says in this tract, even if a person were homophobic, it wouldn't diminish their arguments against homosexual behaviour. Yeah, but here's the thing. The arguments against consensual adults of the same sex having sexual relations are shit. Bigotry dressed as holiness is still bigotry. You can try and dress up hatred for human beings as godly virtue all you want, but you know what? It looks like your church is dying. And I, for one, think that that's a great thing. Peace.